What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another daily Manchester City transfer update. Before I do crack on with today's update, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single day here on YouTube with all the latest City transfer news. So if you haven't already, do subscribe. It's free. Aiming for 46k subscribers, now less than 200 subs away. So any help towards that would be great. Social media links are in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on today's update. We're aiming for 400 likes, and do get your thoughts as well in the comments below. We're going to dive straight on in with the outs, and we've got the very latest on Max Alleyne, who has now joined Watford on a season-long loan in the Championship. So as per that agreement, Manchester City have been working hard in the background to get Max Alleyne onto a new contract, and I did say to you guys about Manchester City wanting to time an announcement with both his new contract and also his loan to Watford at the same time. So Max Alleyne signed a new 5-year contract at Manchester City, keeping him at the club until June of 2030, and as part of that new contract, the agreement now is for him to spend the season on loan with Watford, which has now been confirmed by Watford. So I wanted to wish Max Alleyne the very best of luck at Watford in the Championship, and also a huge congratulations to Max on his new long-term contract. Happy days! Now moving on, we've got the very latest on Claudio Echeverri and Mundo Deportivo in Spain have said that Manchester City are not contemplating any other situation other than Claudio Echeverri is going to go on loan, and his loan is going to take him to Girona and to Girona only. Now, Manchester City rejected a loan with an obligation to buy worth £28.65 million yesterday, with a buyback clause at less than £35 million from AS Roma. It was then thought that Claudio Echeverri, who's keen on his move to AS Roma, isn't getting his move, would like a loan to another Premier League club. He's also said that he wants to be playing in Europe's biggest competitions. He wants to be playing in the Champions League or the Europa League, but Manchester City, they don't want him anywhere else other than playing at Girona. Girona don't have European competitions to compete in for next season, so he wouldn't be playing in the Champions League, he wouldn't be playing in the Europa League, he'd simply be playing in La Liga with Girona. I don't think Claudio Echeverri is too happy about this, and yeah, there's a reason why this loan transfer has been dragged on, and dare I suggest a little bit of Claudio Echeverri loan transfer saga going on this summer. Where's he going to end up? What's going to happen? Somebody has to compromise. Is it going to be Echeverri and his camp, or is it going to be Manchester City? Does seem a bit frictioned, and it's not the best of things to be going on, if I'm being completely honest, when it comes to business for Manchester City, because you don't want a player dictating what happens if the club thinks that something else is better for his development. But you also have to, manage these players, the human beings after all. You've got to manage them to have their best interest at heart, and if Claudio Echeverri wanted a loan move somewhere else, then you've got to hear what they've got to say and within reason find a good compromise that suits all parties, rather than one party being happy and the other not, because at the end of the day it's a joint partnership. It's obviously a loan transfer, but Echeverri is a Manchester City player, and we've got to do what's best for the player, and the player wants to do what he thinks is best for himself as well. So it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. Anyway, speaking of players going on loan to Girona, takes us on to an update on Vitor Reis, and he's now officially signed for Girona on a straight loan with no purchase option for the season. So I'm hoping that Vitor Reis is going to get plenty of starts and plenty of minutes with Girona. I expressed a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sticking by what I said then about loans and to Girona, that they've not got a good track record when it comes to Manchester City youngsters and utilising these young players. There is the odd exception to the rule, including obviously the likes of Yankuto, where he had tremendous success there. Yangel Herrera had great success at Girona, but there's so many players who we have sent to Girona who they don't utilise, and Vitor Reis has got a huge 12 months where hopefully he does get utilised, he does get them starts, he does get them minutes, because if he does, then there is a potential spot in the Manchester City first team squad waiting for him. And also same situation with Juma Bar, who's already been sent out on loan this season. Now moving on to the ins, we've got the very latest on Carlos Carlos Baleba from Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, ESPN have said that both Manchester City and Manchester United hold an interest in signing Baleba from Brighton. He's a 21-year-old central midfielder from Cameroon who obviously plays for Brighton and Hove Albion. Manchester United are really keen, is my understanding on this transfer right now. I know that City like him, they admire him. However, I do have some doubts about City actually making a move for him. Now, Brighton have valued him at a whopping €120 million, which is £104.13 million. And it isn't really like Manchester City to go into negotiations with Brighton and Hove Albion, because Brighton drive a really hard bargain. I describe them when it comes to a transfer window as the Napoli of the Premier League. We don't touch them with a barge pole, and I can't see City being that keen on touching Brighton with a barge pole either, because quite frankly you're going to be paying a huge premium for a player who maybe you don't regard as being value for money. We've seen Chelsea do a lot of business with Brighton in the past because they're happy to pay Brighton's price, and trust me when I say this, if Man United want to go near Baleba or City want to go near Baleba, if Brighton want €120 million, then they're going to get €120 million, or you're not going to get the player, which I do admire. I do admire that stance. The big boys come calling. Brighton don't buckle. They get a heck of a lot of money. They invest that money very well, and they're now a very well-run business in terms of the footballing world. But I have some doubts about this Baleba transfer for Manchester City for numerous reasons. To me, it's smelling of Brighton wanting more money from Manchester United. It also smells of Chelsea maybe making a move late in the window. That wouldn't surprise me at all. A very expensive transfer, and City's name just out there to ensure that premiums are going to get paid. But if we do want to look at this, and City, let's say they were happy to pay £104 million for Baleba, we couldn't register him in the Premier League because we've got too many non-homegrown players. We couldn't register him in the Champions League. We're having more problems with UEFA Champions League registrations than we are with Premier League players. We've still got a heck of a lot of business that needs sorting. Yeah, Vitor Reis may have headed out on loan, and that's one non-homegrown player that we don't have to worry about in our registrations, but we still need to sort out Echeverri, which doesn't seem like it's getting sorted anytime soon unless some kind of compromise is found. We still need to sort out Zaveri Naipan, and for us to actually add any non-homegrown players to our squad, whether that be Baleba as a central midfielder or a Lucas Paquetá that's been linked with a move to City, I'm finding these central midfielder links quite interesting right now, because that does suggest maybe City are looking at central midfielders. But when are we going to actually have a look at right-backs? Because other than Tino Livramento, we've not really had a look at any right-backs, and it just seems to be the elephant in the room when it comes to City transfers. And so for us to make a move for a non-homegrown fullback or a non-homegrown central midfielder like a Paquetá or a Baleba, we're going to have to move on to non-homegrown players, not including Stefan Ortega Moreno. So it does mean that we start looking towards players who have been linked with the exit door or been linked, obviously, with their contracts expiring, that they may not be at City in 12 months' time. And as far as central midfielders go, I'd say it's a case now that City would probably have to move on to non-homegrown central midfielders to bring a central midfielder like a Paquetá or a Baleba in. And that means two of Gundogan, Kovacic, Bernardo Silva or Nico G leaving. And that's just so complicated to get sorted that gives me so much doubt when it comes to a potential transfer, not just for Baleba but also for Lucas Paquetá as well. For me, there's too big of a job coming when it comes to non-homegrown players leaving. So what we want to be sorting out here really is identifying what our squad is going to look like come the end of this transfer window, and ensuring that the sales that we're getting sorted are sorted, because I'd be surprised if Man City made any move for any more players in this window, in particular if it's to be a non-homegrown player. It's very complicated. We could look to move Ederson on and bring another homegrown keeper in, but that's not going to happen. So that instantly dismisses Ederson leaving. It also instantly dismisses the rumours of Donnarumma coming in. But also we need to sort out what's happening with James McAtee, closing in on a transfer to Nottingham Forest, but still waiting for that official agreement to be found. What's happening with Jack Grealish? Well, that's thought not to be sorted until the end of this transfer window. So time is ticking, and for me it'd make more sense here for City just to identify what they want their squad to look like for this season, potentially what they want their squad to look like from next season, and sort out their registrations and sort out the sales of players who don't want to be here, and sorting out to ensure that all players that we have got available around our first team squad are eligible and can be registered to play in both the Premier League and the Champions League. further complicated because Savinho and Cody Husinov, due to their age, don't have to be registered in the Premier League, which normally I'd go big thumbs up, great, sorts out Man City's problems, but they have to be registered in the Champions League, so you may as well register them for the Premier League if they're needing to be registered for the Champions League. So there's so much here that will be giving Hugo Viana a big headache, and we need to be focusing on these outgoings before we start even thinking about the any more potential incomings, and in particular any potential non-homegrown players being brought in as well. And I'm not entirely sure why Man City have been so preoccupied with their incomings and not focused more on their outgoings, because right now we've got far too big of a squad. It needs trimming down, and we have players at the club who we don't want to be here anymore, where they've not got any interest in these players. So yeah, not even spoken about what's happening with Calvin Phillips. So we need some clarification on this before we can even potentially look at any more incoming. So for me, makes no sense for Lucas Paquetá, makes no sense for Baleba because they're non-homegrown. The non-stories, it's City's name being used for somebody else's gain, whether that be the selling club or the players' camp to get them a better deal from another club or a new contract. Who knows? I can't see City making a move for Baleba. I can't see City making a move for Lucas Paquetá in this window. And I'm struggling if the players non-homegrown of City adding anybody else in this window. It's got to be the outgoings that City are focusing on. But things can change very quickly. City worked very quickly to get things sorted in terms of the incomings at the beginning of June. They could work really quickly to sort out their squad in the next 10 days. It can be done, and that would give City some time to maybe dip into the market once more. My expectation is that that isn't going to happen, but circumstance and things can change, and once the Premier League season gets going from next weekend, I expect lots of balls to get rolling when it comes to lots of transfers, because clubs will get very desperate at the end of summer transfer windows to make sure that their squads are complete and they're happy with their squads as well, and that could mean more movement for Manchester City players, in particular players around the first team squad, players whose contracts are coming up in the next 12 to 24 months, and also players who potentially don't see their long-term futures at Manchester City. So I'm keeping my eyes and ears open on everything. I'm finding these central midfielder links, though, very interesting, because it's not the first central midfielder that we're being linked with here with Baleba. We've been linked with Paquetá, and maybe there is more into it. But at the moment, not making a lot of sense. If we get some outgoings, it might make more sense to me, but right now, I have my doubts about that, so we'll see what does happen, obviously with this story and all the other stories throughout the remainder of this summer transfer window. And I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single step of the way, every single day, with all the latest City transfer news here on YouTube. So if you haven't already, do subscribe, stay tuned to my daily Manchester City transfer updates. On that push now to 46,000 subscribers, less than 200 subs away. If we could hit that very soon, then that would be absolutely amazing. Also, don't forget as well, social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on today's transfer update. 400 likes is the aim, and do get your thoughts as well in the comments below, and I'll see you all again religiously tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.